Hi, Legato 2400 here, aka Pieway. Today I want to go over Video Enhance AI and what I also do for the final encode process to post on YouTube. And I'll have all the programs in the video description below. And I'll be showing you the main profile I use, which is called Proteus Final Tune. And for this instance, we're going to be using version 3, which is the latest one. And basically, a lot of editors, they're going to want to like clean up their footage, and they're going to see a lot of pixels going on right here, and it's going to be moving all over the place, and of course you don't want that. And what's cool about Proteus Final Tune is it actually gives you 6 options to mess around with and enhance, while with a lot of the other ones, they're just presets of the AI, and you don't really have that much control other than you can pick whichever version you want if you click on this little cloud icon button, and then you'll see the whole list. But other than that, for this one, we're going to be using version 3 because it's actually really good at getting rid of these blocks and cleaning up the image with the least amount of artifacting. And basically, you can start off by using it by hitting the auto detect button, and it'll just look at the current frame, and then it'll automatically adjust. But the problem is the L adjust isn't really going to be the best in all cases, and I'll show you why here. And as you can see, it is cleaning up the image, but the problem is you're seeing all this artifacting going on, so it's a lot of movement, and we do not want to be seeing that artifacting. So what we do is we start adjusting things. Like basically, if you're seeing a lot of artifacting, you want to like back off on these higher values, especially up here at the top with the reverse compression. And this is actually what's going to help you out the most with getting rid of these blocks. And it's usually good to have this around like probably about like a quarter roughly, so like 25 around there. And then for also recovering the detail, this can also create a lot of artifacts, so we'll back that off probably about to like right there. That should be fine. Sharpen looks like it's good where it's at. Reduce noise, I like to put it up to around like 15. And then dehalo, probably put up to like about 10. With dehalo, I don't really recommend going past a value of 25 because that'll actually create a lot of blurring on the image if you make it too strong. So I don't recommend making that too strong. And then with anti-aliasing and deblur, I like putting this on 50. And what this does is it actually helps tighten like the outlines and makes things a bit more finite with the detail of the image on top of that, and kind of restores it in that regard. Then yeah, we'll just hit the preview button, and now you see a lot less artifacting. It's looking a lot better right now so far, and it's almost done with rendering the 15 frames. And there you go. So you see there's a lot of movement going on there, but here it's looking really clean, not too much artifacting, and looking pretty good. And also, like you can see over here, like if you're concerned about losing detail, like you're not going to lose detail with these settings at all. In fact, you're just getting more detail with that. And that's basically what I recommend for a general use purpose. Now I'm going to be showing you one other example. So if you're like restoring lower resolution, that's not 1080p, this is like a 720p, you're going to see a lot of these lines and basically anti-aliasing going on that needs to be fixed and corrected. And we'll just hit the automatic button here. So you see it has that on a high value again. Might change that here. And let's go ahead and see what it looks like right now with the auto values. Okay. So we still are getting a lot of blockiness, and yeah, we definitely don't want that. So what we're going to do is stop that. Also change this. And let's see here. So what I ended up doing is I put this actually all the way up to 100%. And basically this is going to help reduce that blockiness and clean up the image a lot. So with lower resolutions, as long as you aren't getting a lot of artifacting, you can definitely go up all the way to 100% on this value. And then for recovery details, put it up to around about 44. And yeah, we can leave sharpen there. Reduce noise, about like 20. And dehail is fine there. And then yeah, for this last value, definitely like keeping around at 50. And then let's go ahead and preview that. All right, so now you see, let's go ahead and pause that. Got rid of a lot of that blockiness, redefined the outlines with those values, and it's just a lot sharper and cleaner. And as you can see in this instance, there isn't like really any artifacting you're seeing, even though we have those high values on that one section. So it is just a video by video basis when you're doing these fine tunings. Just know the ones that you're going to be messing around with the most is the revert compression, recovery details, and anti-aliasing / deblur. Normally though, I would just recommend just keeping around at 50 for this unless you feel you need to change that. And that's about it for Topaz Video Enhanced AI. Oh yeah, and normally I'll encode out with MOV ProRes, and it'll keep the audio, but I don't recommend using their audio because it's like lower compression, plus also it can go off the timeline of the video when it's doing this process. So I recommend just turning that off. That way you won't be having that in your final product and then just start encoding. But of course you want to get your audio back into your video. So once you've created your video, you want to also have your audio file wherever you need it to be. And to like basically put them back together, I use mkv toolnux, and then you can just drag and drop it like this. And it'll ask you if you want to add that, just add it, and then boom, that's done. And yeah, just make sure you go down here with the bar and you'll see start muxing it basically. And then yeah, you'll have it right over here. Let's see here. Yep, and there's the mkv file, and that'll be like the final product. But also, even before that, once you do get the MOV file encoded, it'll be a really big file. And of course, we want to compress that. And the problem is with Topaz is that they don't have H.265 encoding yet. So I use XMedia Recode to make the H.265 profile. And yeah, you can just use MP4, stream faster for the mux. And then once you go into the video tab, make sure you select, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, use the H.265 with the NVIDIA encoding, and that'll make it to where you can code really fast. I don't recommend using the AMD encoding because it does not have the 2-pass for the rate control mode. And you really want to use that for compression because it actually helps preserve the image because there's more references when you use that. If you don't have NVIDIA's graphics card, then just use the regular H.265 encoding with your CPU. Switch it to the 2-pass, and you should be good to go. Along with, let's see here, set that to unrestricted for the levels. And for the preset, I recommend using around about the slower preset. If you have a super power CPU, then yeah, you could probably use placebo, but I don't recommend it for most people. So yeah, just use that. And that's about it. If all you can use is the CPU, otherwise I'll show you for NVIDIA. It's roughly the same thing. Just do the Topaz for variable bitrate. Set your bitrate to like 7,000. That should be good. And then like the max, you could do like 8,000. And then set the level back to unrestricted. And the preset, set it to the lowest for best quality for slowest. Basically what this does is does the most complicated compression it possibly can to preserve the quality. And then basically that's all you got to do, and you're all good to go to post that MKV on YouTube. YouTube actually accepts MKVs now, and otherwise you're all good to go. If you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll try to reply to them. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.